welcome back once again to a new day right here on TV3. Wake up and feel the sunshine. Now you heard the drums. Yes, we are speaking to you. But are you listening? Are you hearing the language? Nowadays, when you're in the University of Legon and they hear that you're actually studying, theater arts or the rest, they say you're studying Dodology. Really? Dodology? Well, today we're here with Mr. Zakaria Abdallah Zablon. He's the Deputy Artist Director at the Ghana Dance Ensemble in Legon. Good morning, sir, and welcome to a new day. How are you?
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for playing the Don for us. Talking drums.
Let's make some slight correction before we go ahead.
Okay, go on.
This is the Lunga.
The Luna.
Lunga.
Okay.
That is in the Bani.
Okay.
Dondo is Arkan.
All right.
And some say Dono instead of Dondo.
Okay.
So all people have different ways of pronouncing it.
Okay.
And then the perception or the misrepresentation by giving a term, Dodology. Mm-hmm. Where does it come from? How did it come about? And what does that mean?
Yes. I understand you.
You are studying your own self and your instruments.
Yeah. And
then you try to, it's just like people will say, give the cat a bad name and hang it, or the dog a bad name and hang it.
Is it trivializing your
It's trivializing.
Art? Right.
And it makes students feel, what am I going to study? This is what their friends telling me.
Right.
So once the person is not himself or herself, the person may decide to change the course, which may not be good for the person's future.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is the course about then?
Right. What I'm saying is that as Africans, we have music and dance blend together. Mm-hmm. When we say it is interwoven, very knitted together to the extent that it is very difficult to talk about one aspect, leaving the other entirely.
Right.
So, if you are to study the people, you don't just study them halfway. Mm-hmm. Because we believe that music and dance is part and parcel of the life of the African.
Okay.
Without which life will be meaningless.
Understood.
And I always throw a challenge to people that whoever claims he or she had never danced on this planet Earth, then means you've never existed.
Or never experienced music.
Once you've been born and you live your life on this planet Earth, you have in one way or the other do the dance, whether intentionally or unintentionally.
Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you a little something.
Okay.
I want you to give us a little bit of a history lesson.
Okay.
Now, I grew up knowing or hearing about talking drums.
Okay.
I know the concept of talking drums. Okay. Some people may think it was just a rap group that grew up in GIS. No. Okay. Talking drums have been a heritage for Africans for hundreds of years. Yeah. So, what is it about the talking drums that seems to have lost its universal interest? Why is it that people don't know so much about talking drums nowadays?
Let's go back, as we said, into the history.
Yeah.
This instrument I'm handling today, I should say, is about 700 years old, as well as the institution of Dagon and the Lucy institution as well. The first Lunga was called Bizun, and Bizun was a prince.
Okay.
But he opted to become a musician. Along the line, the father tried to push him, but he maintained his stand. And so, finally, the father had to support him, and rather became his teacher.
Okay.
So, this instrument is a talking drum. It's pecs. And if you throw any challenge to me, I can demonstrate that and let you really have the feel and understand that, yes, when they say African instruments, pick. Because they are tonal. Languages we speak.
First challenge. Since you've opened the floor, first challenge.
Right.
All right. Tell everybody, welcome to New Day. This is Ghana. One more time. All right.
No. And other challenges I do through to people for them to believe and really see the practicality of this instrument. I tell people, you mention your name, I play it, and you see the sound. You see it. Perfect.
Okay.
As much as possible that this thing can enter in my brain. it will then weave through into the hand and flow out.
So it can be, it's almost like how the sailors use Morse code. This is how the Africans would use to communicate as well.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
Okay, please say Nana Aba Anamwa. Amake underscore Abebese. Wow. All right. Now,
are we not there?
We're getting there. I'm getting there. I know you already hear it. I'm hearing it. I'm getting to listen.
Right.
Now, this, you mentioned the first name of this instrument.
Bosom.
Which was named after the prince.
He was a prince.
Okay. So how is this instrument pivotal in collecting history? Because obviously it started off with a prince.
Right.
Where have we got to now?
All right. As a kind of message, or the information being transmitted to people from generation to generation, from father to son, from grandfather, and so on and so forth. Now, your teacher can be your father, he can be your uncle, he can be your brother, or a nephew.
Okay.
Right. And what is happening is that we call this oral tradition, oral history. You are taught phrases in chunks.
Okay.
Now, when you start, your teacher will say it, but you will have to sing. If he sings and you have to sing, it will not work well.
Please
so he will say it in words and then ask you to sing after him.
Please demonstrate.
Now, the first thing, and as part of it, that I've used as a attempt, the ABCD of the Dagban Prince poetry,
okay,
is Dakolnya Biba. So your teacher will say Dakolnya Biba Namlana and ask you to sing, and then you will then sing Dakolnya Biba ye Namlana. You say Palanya Piamba Namlana, Palanya Piamba ye Namlana, Mumala Wundimba Namlana, and you will sing. So you go on and on. Now, if we give you about 10 strands or 4, depending when he tests your ability to see that, yes, if I give him 2 or 3 or 4, he can cope.
Yeah.
Now, he will then wait every night after supper. That is where the tutorial takes place. Now, you keep reciting and reciting until he's satisfied that you can read offhand without mistakes.
So, throughout this point, you haven't even touched the drum yet?
Yes.
You're just
now,
singing and reciting.
The drum also has a different time that you have to learn it.
Right.
So this one, you do it after supper with your teacher. Now, if you are even 3 or 4 students at the same time, he'll put you together. But as you go on, it may get to a time where someone may be faster in picking up the outstanding, then he'll split you.
Okay. So it's an oral lesson first. You're taught orally before you even touch the drums and the rest of it.
You do this in the night, and this one you do it during the day. Where there are now, once you are born into the family, this is something hereditary.
Okay.
You don't have to learn it because you want to make money.
Okay. This
because
is passed down from grandfather,
and it's the preserve for you to do it to the society and the chiefs.
Okay.
Now, so once you are born into the family, from age 3 thereabout, they may give you a smaller instrument. And that one, you play anything that comes to your mind.
Okay.
You are not corrected. No one guides you. They rather encourage you to hit hard.
So it's like a practice.
It's like a practice.
Right.
You are improvising. Now you attain age 4, 5, 6 thereabout. You are given a bigger instrument than the first one.
Okay.
And it is at this age that now they believe that you can then follow your senior brothers to any performance.
Okay.
So you see where the practicals come in.
Yes.
Now when you get to performances, you are raw, you are new to the situation. Your brothers who are already well versed in it, they will then teach you how to do the response. So you start with the response. It's a call and response type of music. So once they call you, you respond. If you go wrong, they will guide you to say, no, you are off.
Okay.
So we have a timeline you have to follow. In spite of the fact that there's no bell pattern accompanying the drumming, but internally, it is internalized. Every member of that ensemble, they know what they are doing. And once you are off beat, they will guide you to say, no, you are off beat. Be online.
Now, you've mentioned the fact that it's handed down from grandfather, son, nephew.
Right.
You can teach your... Now, where... And you have to be born into the family.
Right. Perfect.
Where is this family from? Where did this originate from?
I told you the first Lunga was a prince.
Yes.
And so we are the descendants of that prince.
Of the royal...
Of the royal family.
Right.
And as a result of that, every Lunga in Dagbon and any ordinary citizen or even the royals, they call us their grandfathers because of that reason.
Right.
In Yaba.
Okay.
My grandfather.
Understandable. All right. Now, apart from festivals, apart from cultural exposés, and they do it for the chiefs and the rest of it, where else do you do this?
The Lunga has several roles to play in the society.
Okay.
We talk about festivals. We have naming ceremonies. We have weddings. We have inskinment, that is installing, that is making someone a chief.
Yeah.
All these occasions, they have rules, performances to do. Aside of that, even at birth. So that is why we saying that, as an African, we drum and dance from the one we are born till we die and we are sent off. With music and dance.
So is it only you, the royal family, that does this? I mean, because I have a son. He's 2 years old now, and I want to hand him over to somebody like yourself to teach him.
Well, modernity has come in. Things have changed. We say culture is not static. And every society is not static. While there's a kind of interaction between other cultures.
I'm glad you said that. Culture is not static.
It's not static.
It changes.
It changes.
Thank you.
It changes as much as possible. You interact with other cultures.
Yes.
You see that. Now, even Europeans, they come down to learn. So we are saying, yes, it belongs to a particular family. But that does not mean an outsider cannot learn
it. Okay.
But the extent to which we will learn is limited. Why am I saying this? Now, if we want to groom you to become a real Lunga, as I take this round, before I play, I rub across the face. I will start with things about God's creation.
Okay.
And move into my own lineage. Okay. That is my ancestors.
Yeah.
Who were past chief drummers. Play their appellations, one after the other, till the present. Now, if you are an outsider, you will come and I teach you to mean that it is my lineage that I will teach you because you are not a born.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, can you please give me a little appellation?
So at the